the YouTube link I'll put out right now because we are going live on YouTube too. I know it's late for the YouTube start, but better late than never. Apologies for the later start, as I said, but I had a few issues with the system. Okay. You should be able to see us on YouTube if you're paying attention there. We are live, and I will also tweet out the link right now to say that we are live on Twitter, not Twitter, on YouTube. And of course, anybody who had another point, you're free for you to join, ask any question that you might have. Or if you're stuck and you're looking at put out some earnings. So far, Dana and I have only spoken about, I guess, kind of RJR. Anything else came out that you really like, Dana?
Really like. For that, Eric don't touch on CHL, did like that. What else? Honey bun looking nice, looking like a snack.
What do you think about honey bun? Honey bun, I keep waiting for them. I suspect they're going to ask the market for money, but I don't have any proof other than my own gut feeling saying that. I really hope that they're going to raise some money.
New top 10 holder.
They do. Who is that?
House Manufacturing.
Oh, that's not a listed company, right?
Not a listed company, but that's still so that does. Think there's some strength in that brand in its industry. So I suspect they do good business based on my view of them and how they seem to be in the investment in their how do I say it? What do I know what they do
in their field.
Field, yes, that's it.
Yeah, in their field, they are pretty good. Let me pause and ask for, I think Phil was waiting. Sir Phil, how are you doing?
Yo, guys, how you doing, man?
What's up, Phil?
I am okay. Yeah, so I know that I can't remember who it was, but a couple people touched on CPJ, but I mean the enthusiasm around CPJ can be overstated. To me, the results, we don't even have to compare the results to last year. The results are far exceed.
Standalone strong.
Yeah, standalone strong is better than pre-pandemic. The last pre-pandemic result, the December 2019, the comparable result. We know it's a tourism stock, so there is some seasonality, right? But the revenues are only up 2% over that December 2019 quarter. But their gross margin, the amount of money that they make, the gross margin is 32% versus 26%. And their admin expenses are lower as a percentage of the revenue, and so because of that, you're seeing that massive jump in the net profit.
I think the user continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's not what I find. So I didn't expect the results to be. I expected them to be good, but I didn't expect them to be this good. And this is before this doesn't take into account the actual expansion of retail that is coming on, and the expansion of retail that they have spoken of, meaning the Montego Bay branch is going to be open soon, them say next month, and they are going into Draxall. So you can expect the results for the current quarter, which is actually usually a bigger tourism quarter, and gearing up to be so again, because as we know, COVID finished.
Okay, Adam.
Yes. Big up. And spring break is back, and the kids have 2 years of alcohol to make up for.
So you're looking forward to the next quarter from
I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
next quarter, and it's gonna be compared to an even bigger loss.
That is correct. Big up the data provider, My Money JA, who you guys will be seeing on screen now. Should be seen on screen now. But what you're seeing is, sorry, I kind of screwed that up. What you're seeing is their price over the last 6 months. And Phil, obviously, this is the thing everybody's excited about. From 4.9 at the, let's say, the early part of August, $4.90, closing today at $19.05, right?
Right.
And that's over the last 6 months. Over the last year, it's even lower. It's coming from below $3. Yeah. So imagine that. Yeah. Jeez.
10x. As in, that's the fable. 10x. $2 something.
10 bagger. Yeah.
10 bagger.
$19.05, and you could have bought it a year ago for $2.65. Yeah, 700% growth in 1 year.
I know.
But Phil, I'm saying all of this just because you gave the people a whole heap of numbers a while ago. But you're saying all of this to say that you actually expect the rest of the year to be huge.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. You're hearing, oh, it is this, it's priced in, or it is all, it is you missed the train, or it's too late. The man them just a start.
So I often hear more missing train from people who never know the train schedule at all.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing is, people they use the actual movement in the price as a reason for there's nothing left. So it move from 2 to 10, you might done. 10 to 20, well, you're coming from 2 in about it, done. Right? So anything more than that, you might don't know. But then
again,
they have so much, they can take almost any stock. There was a point where it did quote unquote done. And then somehow, some way, something happened for it more than that, right? So the idea that something goes up means it must come crashing down, or it goes up. So I got a good gain here. There's nothing left on the table here. I think all of that comes from fear. Because one, you don't know the train schedule. So you're looking at the big rise and say, you can really go more. I don't want to jump in.
You don't know the reason.
And you don't know the reason, you don't know anything about it, but I'm afraid, so I'm not going to retouch that one. Or you're in it, get a nice 100%, you don't know that it's going 200. You never recheck why, just jump in, I get the 100 and ban out. The first time I went this much money, I'm in my seat shaking now because this money can go if it drop. Suppose it drop, it's a lot of money. You know what I'm going to jump out.
Right.
Yeah. Fear.
Yeah.
And fear rules the market. Not that necessarily fear is a bad thing, but unbridled fear can lead you astray. So pretty much you're saying, Phil, that you think you'll go a lot higher. I think, we could do maybe an entire episode just on CPJ.
Yeah, man.
Our tourism.
Our tourism, right, which we kind of did already. What can you say? I'm trying not to say too much that I think, other than the raise is done, right? Yeah. So the raise has been done. I feel like I'm hearing myself. I feel like I'm hearing a feedback on myself. 1 second. I found the actual thing that's doing the feedback.
Anybody talking?
No, I think Randy's talking about his audio. Hold on to it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Randy, you're
I'm
talking.
talking
What
to
are you saying?
myself. I just realized I'm talking to myself. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Whoa, so that is exactly why I believe in CPJ. So next, sorry about that. My sound got screwy. I was so. What was the last thing you heard? I don't because I know people do care about CPJ and I do want to talk about it. So what was the last thing you guys heard?
I don't remember.
I don't remember what you said, but yeah.
It was about CPJ. Well, I'll
when
say
you
it
had the
once over. I think I just pretty much agree with you, Phil. When you said that you are looking for
The race is done.
yeah
the raise is done. Yes.
yeah. So the raise, yeah, looking for the raise. I think that will be instructive to give you an idea of what's coming. I want to see which company they're going to buy. I think that's also a big deal. As Father Sin mentioned, he's looking for the entry into retail. He's looking for the entry into retail where they've been for a while. I think I saw an article where Mark Hart is quoted as saying that they're looking for, is it 5 or 50 million or something like that from retail over the next 5 years?
5 years.
Right.
50 million from retail, which is usually the smaller side of the business.
Yep.
Exactly.
More than the
More than
current
they make
profit.
from the entire business.
Mm-hmm.
More than I think 50 million US they're looking from in revenue.
Yeah.
And they're making. Well, I don't know if he meant. I assume he probably meant that in a year. So yeah, that would be pretty huge. He didn't actually say revenue, so I don't know if it's revenue or profit.
Profit, yes.
Yeah, but I think it's very clear for those of you who can see that CPJ really has heavily turned around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And the one thing that I've seen, one of the credible doubts is the whole issue of the debt, but that is going to be sorted out. Them doing a raise, so.
Yep.
I get you. So them doing a raise is a big deal for you. It's a huge deal for me too. And the results are it's literally a new company.
Yeah.
It's literally a new company as I
new rules.
Right? Yeah, it's literally a new company. And yesterday's price is not tomorrow's price. That's how it go? Or today's price? It's not yesterday's price?
Yesterday's price, not today's price.
Not today's price. And tomorrow's price is definitely not today's price. But CPJ, I'll save for the grow guards and the people who go and ask for it and some of those things. Because we can go pretty deep into it. Phil, you must have another one, but don't make it a boring one, Phil, please.
Don't make it a boring one. QWI
yeah, please.
Boring.
Jesus Christ, I know he was going to
QWI. I knew he was going to say.
Oh my God, this man is religious within QWI. You know what the funny thing is? QWI is probably one of the better companies around right now in terms of
actual.
Yeah. Because they have some exciting things. There's some exciting things about to happen. I think that I told us about for a long time. Tony Duffy mentioned earlier the buyback. That stock buyback that was mentioned by QWI went quiet, and I suspect it's time now. And I kicking myself out mentioning this, but I'll mention it anyway. For the first time in their history, they're considering a dividend.
Yep.
Right.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, which I suspect means they're going to issue a dividend.
What a signal when I date line up.
Yeah. And they're in you can currently get them below what did they IPO at? Was that dollar?
135.
135. And it closed at 99 cents. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think
JAMTI just tell us how much they buy back. JAMTI told us how they bought a good amount, right?
Yeah, I think they're
45 million.
They're up to what, 44% ownership in it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very close to 50, you know.
Very close.
It's very close to 50. In fact, here's a funny point, right? If QWI is going to do a share buyback, could they not buy back themselves over the 50% mark?
Interesting, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Could the buyback not happen to the point where, because they move heavy volumes amongst themselves, could the buyback not happen to the point where
it could well happen?
Yeah, but then I suspect to prevent that, they would sell themselves some units. Meaning JAMTI would sell QWI some units.
Really
ensure that they remain below the percentage.
Below.
But then that must be some heavy volumes being traded. So I wonder how like you think it's going to be on market, because so far these guys have done so much on market. You know them, they're the trading notices.
But the thing is, the last we heard of the thing there, the last buyback we heard from them was on the market. So we'll see if the proposal going forward will be the same, right? I expect it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So these guys, as I said before, they like the market and the beauty of that. So yes.
So it could blow up very suddenly, and outside of that, its actual investment operations have been pretty strong. Year to date at 83 million in terms of profit. Quarter slightly down on the previous year, right? But then they pointed out why. Well, I'm thinking about JAMTI when they pointed out why. QWI is a little bit down, but JAMTI spoke about being down because of I think it was the housing sales that they had in the same quarter last year.
Correct.
So JAMTI, I think I would be just holding them breath with JAMTI. I'm surprised that more people don't message asking about or come in asking about JAMTI. That is one that is I at least think is poised. But I said that while not owning that many units of JAMTI, but it is, I think, poised for a big blow up. Maybe middle of the year. Everybody waiting also on the Caribbean Dreams point. You know what's going to happen with the Caribbean Dreams, Dreams spin-off. So that's one consideration. But Phil, you see, almost when we start get all yarny with the thing, brother. I thought you'd have an exciting thing. But I'm messing with you. I mean, CPJ itself was good, at least in my opinion.
I actually thought CPJ was a good segue into QWI, because CPJ is now their largest holding by in terms of the cost.
CPJ is the largest holding in terms of the cost.
In QWI.
The cost?
Really?
Cost is not the right word.
The value. That's the value. It's the biggest holding they have.
Your holding is now bigger than Grace and Access.
And Access, I find that funny, don't it? Everybody was buying about Access. It's funny.
I don't know what they're doing with this Access thing. Blah blah blah. Look at that now. Look at us now.
Think of him again, Randy. Think of conversation. Oh, John Jackson himself said it. Say, yo, bossy, yo, we take the loss already, you know. Like, it's not hurting us that we still have it. It's not like because you lost money before immediately. Stocks is not grass, because I start going.
That is true.
People often do that. A stock goes down, and the question I get immediately is going down. My boss, the trade already gone down. Like it went down. Going down means you're telling the future. Why is it going down? What's going to happen next? Why have that thought? And the only reason I got thought, you're afraid because it go down just now. All right, going up means they continue going up. So everything good. It's grass. it must continue to grow, right? You know, really works so. Yeah. So they took the loss, and the man, and he said it plainly, they took the loss already. So it hit the books, cool, we deal with it. Going forward, it doesn't mean we're going to take more of our loss from it. Might end up with a gain. And here we are with it being watered out by gains made elsewhere.
And it's not trading at a bad.
Been in CPJ from a long time, you know. On the podcast, he was talking about CPJ, and they had a stake in it then. So
Well, you know what? Thanks, Phil, for that point. Then let me then bring it to that point from the AGM, which actually happened already, where they said that they're doing a raise and it will have a rights issue element. What the hell does that mean?
It means an APO, and then we're trying to make it sound as rights issues as possible.
Yeah, I am very excited to see what they come with.
They come with something good.
Yeah,
come with something good.
Yeah. Because the second you knock out sorry, go ahead, Dana. Go ahead.
I know exactly. I want to hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, as I said, the second you no longer doing a rights issue. You're immediately knocking minority shareholders, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty much facing dilution.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to prevent dilution then is to do a rights issue.
Yep.
But if for whatever reason they feel like they're going to the APO, there are things they can do to kind of at least, you're going to get diluted anyway, but can they at least make it interesting?
Yep.
And Mark Hart has promised more than once that he thinks that minority shareholders will be interested. There will be something
minority
there to
make shareholders.
I think he said or smaller shareholders or retail investors or something.
I love that. Yeah.
Or but maybe he just said or shareholders and I'm hearing retail in my mind as I want to. So yeah, don't watch that. I could be wrong there. But then I start thinking, what could he do to make it interesting?
Special price and if you have a special volume or something like that.
Yeah.
I do. If it's going to be rights issues, then don't make it just be a boy if you own shares. They may have the same. Remember Barita? Everybody own 1 to 1, sell to 1 share. Good thing Barita was doing other things.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, shareholder. Don't mess up.
Yeah.
No, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
make it actually interesting.
You have to do it in a way that, all right, you don't crowd out people. Because if you do it like, if you have X amount of shares, then you're eligible to a pool. But then everybody who not going to own that amount of shares going to say, all right, screw it, I'm not going to do this, right? So you don't want that. So if there's a component where, okay, the amount of shares will matter in what you're getting from the APO, from whatever pool, then that to me that makes sense. Not necessarily like you will be diluted, but to some degree, the pool that you can apply to would matter. It would give you a good amount of units in the actual offer, and then you fight for the rest in the general. Something like that. Yeah. So maybe 60% of your holdings is a rights issue for you. Something like that. That would be interesting to me.
Okay, so like you're guaranteed 60% of your holdings.
You get to defend 60% of your holdings, but then the rest of you fight for in the general.
That could be interesting. But then if you're going that road, why not?
It's basically a rights issue.
Yeah, just do a full rights issue and done.
Because the idea that we've heard of it before, the idea that if you're doing a rights issue and then the general public has to fight for the seat, there's an idea that, boy, if you do a rights issue, you can exclude the general public. You can't do a raise.
That's the point. The public isn't needed for.
But the thing is funny. We know it can put out something and you don't call it a rights issue. It's a rights issue, but you don't call it that. You don't structure it and call it just like how an offer for sale is not an APO.
Can be.
Just don't call it that. It's like somebody we're selling some shares. The secondary issue. We made some shares and we're seconding it out.
Yeah.
We call it an APO, and then suddenly it's this new thing. When you read and truly, I can say, boy, maybe my APO work this way. It's an APO same way, but it's really a renounceable rights issue. You just call it an APO.
That would be turning the world on its head.
I know, and I don't think that's going to happen. To be honest, I think it's the reason I said the 60 thing is because I think that the direction I think they're going. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd really want something like that. I would hope for something like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking more.
They're going APO anyway. They better. Yeah, I agree with you. They can go. There's going to be the rights issue. Make it renounceable. If the general public can apply and then get the scraps.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they're just going to. Yeah, I think they're just going to do a reserve pool.
Yeah, I think so.
That's all.
I'm trying to be optimistic and hope and whatever, but the truth is, I think there's going to be a reserve pool, and it's going to be both.
Maybe at a lower price.
Yes.
So maybe the public gets 750, and the
reserve get a nice.
Reserve shareholders get 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. That'd be great, actually. Yeah.
Greatish.
I know. I'm trying to be optimistic.
If they also tag the entry point in the future, so the X date to become a shareholder to get into that pool
is not in the past.
future.
Please,
Yeah,
don't do that.
but
Don't do
that's
that
still not
past
going.
thing there.
But
Please.
even if they put in the future, it won't make a difference unless it is linked to however many shares you own.
Yeah. So maybe when them say right, you should them go in that direction. Fingers crossed. Hopeful, but not expectant.
Why would you
agreed?
Not
why the hell would you do it? Because you want one APO and you think that's the way to go to raise as much money as possible. But you know that these guys talking about rights issue, you know that APOs generally people have not really made money from that kind of thing. So
the retail investors, at least people like us,
retail investor hasn't made money from this kind of thing yet. So I think that's the point where it makes sense to them. But they're not. Shareholders will be happy. I don't know about the retailers. I know shareholders will be happy.
Yeah, some shareholders will obviously be happy. And my part himself is a shareholder.
It will be happy. Yeah, so shareholders will be happy. I don't know if the retail will be, but we shall see. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Let's get something good out of this.
Yo, I hope they do a stock split. I think
that'd be nice actually.
That'd be nice to do that stock split before they do the raise.
Oh, that makes sense.
That would be great if they did that stock split before the raise. But who knows? Let's see what happens with them. All right, Phil. I think next in line was Dale, who was waiting very, very patiently. Evening, Dale.
Yeah. Good evening, Randy, Danai. Good evening, everyone.
How are you doing?
I've been following the stock market for years. My driver's license is probably older than Danai and Randy. That's how long I've been following this thing.
How old is your driver's license?
You sure don't expire?
My driver's license, my first driver's license was 1989. So, my driver's license is older than either of you.
Definitely older than Dana. It's not older than me. I still have a couple of years on it.
Yeah. I heard you guys talking about the hype, not following the hype. On Twitter.
Not blindly following the hype.
Right. Over the years, I guess having an accounting background, my first job was in accounts. And being in sales and marketing, there are certain things I look for on the stock market. And when financial statements come out, I sit down and enjoy a good read and a good dive.
Oh, wow.
What usually guides me is, I look for things like margins, the amount of money the company makes, gross margins and net margins. I look at the type of increases year over year. I study the market that they're in, and based on the economy, based on the markets that they're in, based on the plans they have, the areas where they're looking for growth, then I try to make an informed decision. And I think 9 out of 10 times, if you follow the fundamentals, especially if you're investing long term, you can make decent choices. With CPJ, I am surprised that a lot of people would not have realized how well CPJ would have done. A few years ago, they had a bad IT problem that knocked them out for a couple of months. Then the pandemic came along and disrupted their business. And while the majority of their business would have been in tourism, they also have a very strong presence in retail and the supermarket and wholesale trades all across Jamaica. And when the tourism sector sank on them, they pivoted into retail very hard. And they've been doing quite well in retail. And my experience is in fast moving consumer goods. So I observe the Wisingos, the Seprods, the CPJs, the Honeybuns, all of those distribution companies. I make decisions based on what I know of the company and my impression of it in the market, the potential for growth, the limitations that I see, as somebody in the industry. But I think as investors, we should try not to be afraid of financial statements. It's not a great mystery if you really get into it. I like what you guys are doing, this weekly meeting online where you try to educate everyone. But if we all take a little time and deep dive into the statements, deep dive into the news that is put out by the companies, the plans that they give to the public, this is what we're planning, and try to make sensible decisions based on everything. 9 out of 10 times you will make good long-term choices. So I'm looking at Seprod, and Seprod share prices are down. But I'm also looking at the fire that they had done at Face Commodity, and how that could have affected their business. So I'm looking at
affected their business.
I think it would have. It would have affected their bottom line. And right after the fire, I saw where their share prices went down. I wouldn't say dramatically, but it went down by quite a bit. Separate over the years have done well and have been improving. So I think over the next year or two, we might get good movements out of Seprod. CPJ, I expect CPJ to continue rising in the market based on their plans. Wisynco, I was very impressed with Wisynco's numbers. Very, very impressed. I also enjoyed.
Tell me the one that you're most impressed with, and let's talk about that one.
I'll tell you, CPJ was very impressive.
More people really love CPJ this week, boy.
To turn around the business the way they have, and it's not because business is coming back. Also, I know they made internal adjustments. When well-run companies are faced with a critical situation like what happened with the pandemic, these companies settle down and look at their operations and drive efficiency. They cut costs, they trim the fat, they trim the expenses, so that when you emerge out of something like a pandemic, they are ready and rearing for growth. The pandemic would have forced them to become more efficient.
Well, this is beyond more efficient. I mean, $3.7 million in the last quarter, as I said, is more impressive than their best year ever. Not their best year ever. Well, year to date, your best year ever. Yeah, you could say that. The best year ever. Yeah, which is true. And that's a complete turnaround business. So, but that means that you're heavy in CPJ then, Dale.
I have some money in CPJ. I am not a large investor. I'm pretty small, but I do have shares in CPJ. Probably a little.
Man tell me that he's a pretty small investor or a large investor.
No. I'm small. I'm small fry, and although I go through the statements and I study them and I try to make informed decisions. Yes, I'm gonna attend Randy's growth course, because you're never too old to learn. You never know enough that you can't learn some more.
I agree with you. I'm still learning, so I agree.
Phenomenon I see though. The things I see, I've said that probably some of the best stories I see from Randy's classes are the ones that know a good amount already.
Yeah, the people of expertise.
Yeah, because it's just further context and building up on the knowledge they have already. So they already have a footing there. They just need some direction sometimes. So yeah.
And I do feel that I need direction. With all my years of experience, with all my years of glancing at the stock market every now and then and never really getting truly involved until pretty recently. Yes, about 50% of my portfolio is in CPJ. I tend not to spread it much. Hold
on. The thing I changed now. 50%.
No.
50%.
50% of a very 50% of a very small portfolio, overall
And
portfolio.
how long have you been doing that?
It's probably about 2 years.
50% of a small portfolio into CPJ 2 years ago is now hundreds of percentages large, as we just saw.
Yeah, but size matters, and it really is. 500% of $100,000 is not as much as 500% of $500,000. Let's put it that way.
Listen, comparison is a thief of joy. If all you had was 100 grand, and now you have 500 grand, you've got a lot more. Be thankful. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. We shouldn't be ashamed of making money. It's good to make money. Right?
Oh no!
Yeah. Really, the joke might be JC might slip and put out a top 11 report and we see days and that.
Right below
the top 10. Right.
Yeah. Right, that is
portfolio.
That is quite unlikely to happen. But yeah, and Randy, you and I have spoken in the past. I think we had direct messaged each other a couple of times on Twitter years ago. I think when Lab went onto the market.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So and I have attended a couple classes when Mark Gale had his classes. I don't know what he's doing now.
I don't know if he's still doing classes.
I doubt it, but I had attended one of his earlier classes. But I mean, work and family commitments and everything really and truly took me out for quite a while. But I'm back. I'm going to sign up for your next grower class because I think learning is very important. Knowledge is very important. And to everybody that's listening, I can't stress it enough. Know what you're doing. Know what you're doing. Do not be afraid of financial statements. Try to learn the basics. You know, learn the differences between gross margins and net margins. Look at the growth of the company year over year. Read up the releases that they put out to the public. Read it and try to understand it, and understand the market that you're in. Most of the trading companies now, I expect them to do well with the economy opening up back and schools opening up back. The honey bonds, the CPJs, the Grace Kennedys, the Seprons, especially Wisynco. Wisynco has a phenomenal distribution system.
Oh yes,
the best in the country.
I don't know if it's the best. I mean, I as a former,
if not the best
as a former employee of Grace Kennedy, I can tell you, Grace Kennedy with their subsidiary companies, they not only distribute down the trade, they distribute down the street. Their distribution network is phenomenal. So they not only deal with supermarkets, wholesales, they deal with corner shops, they go down the trade. And I suspect Wisynco would be down the trade also, down the street. So I expect them to do well. They have formed partnerships. They have, I remember JP Snacks, True Juice. They bring on products that will do well in their distribution network. They make good decisions and good acquisitions. Their switch to LNG was inspired. They have cut electricity.
LNG.
Yeah, man,
so
LNG.
You also own some Fesco?
No, I unfortunately did not get into Fesco. And I, family commitments and other distractions, both medical, that really kept me out for a little while. So I did miss the Fesco boat. But life goes on, and money will be made elsewhere.
Indeed.
The market is dynamic, and you don't think much about missed opportunities. You look for the next opportunity.
I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah.
And there's always something else.
Or something else.
Happening or something else coming. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So good job, guys. Danai, I would love to have a consultation, but my God, all the way till May.
Yes.
In the meantime, I will, stop into Randy's grow course. And
That's also a recommendation of mine, Randy's course. So
right.
Not a bad move at all.
As much as I can, I will drop in weekly to listen to the ramblings of you guys, the informed ramblings of you guys.
No problem.
You're doing a very good job. I'm happy a lot of Jamaicans are taking to the stock market. It can only bode well for the common Jamaican man to be informed and educated.
Yep. Woman, the common Jamaican.
I'm using it as gender neutral, so Jamaican people.
Yeah, but you're 100% correct. The more it helps everybody. So that's usually the answer I give people when they ask, why I do it. It's like it doesn't hurt. It actually helps me to help people. In this case, it directly helps me to help people. More people in the market helps everybody, including the people themselves. So thank you very, very much, Dale.
People people ask about this, why we do it. People ask what it is, and they seem dumbfounded when, it's a free thing we do on every Friday. It's like, what? Yeah.
There's cost behind it. We just don't pass it on. There always has to be some. It helps people. That's why I'm just happy that it helps people, and I hope it doesn't. Dale, and no offense at all to Dale, but Dale is what I'm impressed that you invest. Being in accounting for so long, so I'm impressed that you invest. And that's what more people, I think, oh God, some financials come out and they're excited to see it. I can vouch for me that it is exciting, but not everybody might always see it that way. But that's one of the things I try to grow. I show people how it's exciting, it's not boring, and it's not beyond your understanding. When you can read, you can understand it. Trust me. And that's why you hear me Sorry, go ahead, Danai.
No, go on.
I was just saying that's why you hear every time somebody comes on and they're saying something almost a little too technical, you hear me bring them back and go, no, man, what do you really mean? What are you really saying? What is the real thing that you're saying? Because there's no need for it to be so fancy that you lose people with it. So Dale is completely right. Guys, you should learn to do it. And there's so many opportunities for you to learn to do it. Even if it's even just listening to this every week, and you go and you read one of the financials, or you check out mymoneyja.com, which I will segue into saying that if you're on YouTube right now, you should be seeing it on screen. We have a 10% discount code that is live right now. It's Valentine's Bricks for the people who aren't on YouTube. So if you sign up for My Money JA account, so if it's your first account you sign up for, it's your first time as only. So between now and 11:59 p.m. on February 14, if you sign up for My Money JA, one of the paid packages, you will get 10% off. That is Valentine's Bricks. That's all one word. And the same code works if you're paying for a grow session. I have the next grow session happening, I think February 22nd and 23rd. I could be wrong on that date. Let me just confirm the actual date. It is February, it's split grow, which is happening February 20. You hear me saying it, not knowing the actual date, people. I should know it. I'm sorry.
Jump on everymaker.com.
That's exactly. I'm looking at Everymaker calendar. So for anybody who don't know, there's also an Everymaker market calendar that you can get access to for free. Just go to everymaker.com/calendar, and it shows you all of the market activities, everything that's happening. The dividends, so like you heard Dave just talking about Wisynco's dividend record date is next week Tuesday. It is actually there in the calendar already. It's a free calendar. Go everymaker.com/calendar, and you can add it to your phone. And it also has the grow dates in there. So the 22nd and the 23rd is when split grow is. And if you don't want to do that, if you want to do full grow, it's on the 26th. If you go to everymaker.com/store, everymaker.com/grower, GRWR. If you put that code in, Valentine's Bricks in, if you put it in for yourself, you'll get immediately, I think you get you get 5% off if you're using Valentine's Bricks. And if you use, I'm going to do another one for if you're 2 people, it'll be Valentine's Bricks 2, but that won't be up yet. That'll be up when we're done with the space. So that's a lot for me to say. I will pause, and then if you were saying something, let me hear it. Or if not, I'll go to the next person.
This is why I go to so much tangents, because our memories. So
yeah.
I can't remember exactly where I was going with that. People. I think let's follow up on a point you were saying. I think you covered it already. Just people make the thing there, the financial statement thing into more than it is, it's not really math or anything like that. The more, if you can add, subtract, divide, you can do the fancy calculation, but the truth is you don't even need to do that to be able to read. Like, if you can add and subtract, you can read financial statements.
Yep.
If you can read, you know that number means this. It reads us, okay, it tells you this thing is this, and this is the number that represents it. And if you understand that, and what each of the things are, it's not very hard to learn. A lot of free courses out there you can learn it from. Just don't block your mind from it, and I promise you, you have a nice road. I did accounting in university for the first time, and I hated that class. And for some reason, it math easy, but to me, the hard part of accounting was, boy, I had to make the accounts, draw them up, and I hated it. Left school, start investing, and then I said, wait, I don't have to be the guy to make no accounts. I have to read them, and it was a pretty easy jump. And trust me, when I started investing, I can't tell that I could really read the statements, but just looking at some free course Randy had said me, was a breeze after that. Not a big deal. And trust me, anything, if you can read that at the basics, you get past that. Anything come on an accounting statement and you don't know what it is, just drop it in Google, and I promise you can find it. And know it does learn something new, and you build your knowledge and go forward. Yeah.
So you guys hear our often repeated story is not a joke. I'm glad that you hear from other people all the time who have also benefited. Next up, I think, I hope I have this right. It's actually Wolf of Harbor Street, Mr. CW. How are you doing, Mr. CW?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. No worries. You know, I actually dropped my phone, it dropped, and the request sent by accident, but it look like it's a sign.
Oh, really?
Maybe I do some work, I listen as entertainment, but no problem still. So yeah man, so been enjoying it, Dale. Really love what you said as a fellow accountant. You're really inspirational, and I think you kind of motivate me for one to do like a grower too. But yeah, so for me right now, what I am excited about, or at least what I'm looking into, is Proven's recent acquisition of Fidelity in Cayman. I know this isn't really new news because they announced it sometime, I think 2021, and this is not really unfamiliar territory for them. I think they did the acquisition back in 2016 as well, so they kind of understand the space. So I'm just excited to see what that consolidation will look like in terms of income that is flowing from Fidelity, because I know Fidelity is a pretty, based on a limited research I've done, Fidelity is a pretty recognized bank in Cayman, I think incorporated in Bahamas. So pretty exciting stuff for me. Personally, I know that brings the balance sheet, the assets over $1 billion US now. So that in and of itself is an achievement, I think. And then I don't think there's any public accounting out there right now for Fidelity in terms of revenue. I could be wrong. So I'm looking forward to see what it looks like when they finally consolidate. So that's what I'm excited about right now.
So excited about looking? What do you expect?
I am expecting, boy, then I did have to be the one for draw me out, man.
I'm excited. I don't know why you're excited. It can't be just that them buy something. We've seen some buys that don't go the right way. Cool.
So if they buy it, so right now, I don't think, based on looking at the data, I'm thinking further down 2022 when we get like maybe because I know year in March going into the first quarter of the next financial period, we might see the first. In fact, no, I think they consolidate in a March, so we might see revenue there. So I expect it to go up, but not right now, not in which month? This is February, and I'm expecting to see any share increase until maybe late February, early March, somewhere about there, because you know it might be news driven there when the news finally starts circulate throughout the market. I'm expecting to see a bit of a spike in the price.
That's interesting. You say that it says it's old news.
And that's why I was going to touch on that.
Why would March be the point? What's going on there?
So how I reason on it is, as I say, it's old news, so there might have been a reaction back in 2021. But now that the deal is complete, the late adopters you know, you might have, you know, like the ICP story where you hear about acquisition. I know that is finally happened and the paperwork signed and everything done and dusted. You might see a bit of late stimulation. But this, as I say, you know, the movement might be finished. It might have been exhausted 2021.
I was not saying that at all. I was actually, my question on expectation about the bank itself. Because you say, you don't have any public, there's nothing public you see that tells you how the bank is doing. But you're excited about the acquisition itself. So what exactly are you expecting from the bank?
So what I'm so to that point, I'm excited because it will give me an opportunity now. So preemptively, just on qualitative factors, you know, just a look on the bank. I think it's usually listed among like top 3, top 4 best banks in Cayman. So that in of itself is a kind of signal to me that they're making money. You know, I just think, just as a layman looking on at the bank, I think they're making money. So the fact that proven now have them now to consolidate under them financials, they might see increased revenue going to proven. You already see them already confirmed them asset base gone up to $1 billion. So them have more cash now to, well, they might I must backtrack on that. But yeah, man. So there will be changes to proven balance sheet. That is
God,
one.
Man. You ever hear nobody make money off that?
Yeah, I know Randy, but I the little nerd accountant side, I mean like them little part.
No, but don't blame it on the accountant because the same accounts we look on now when it sounds so.
No, all right.
We have to talk realistic. All right, we have to talk realistic when you're talking about this thing. Let's talk proof, right? You said maybe the movement gone already, right? Maybe the movement gone already. When would the movement have happened then? 2020?
Yep.
20. No, they I don't want to misspeak here, but I think the earliest I saw of it was mid 2021. Could be wrong though.
It was mentioned earlier, but look on the share price from 2020, from 2019 till now, right?
2019.
There's a COVID dip, the COVID Trans-Jamaica dip, then there's the reality dip post-COVID going into mid 2020. And the rise, if you think the rise is coming from the bank news, it would have happened in the last part of 2020, but you say 2021. At least the share price staying at like a range that it always in, right? Between 30 and 35. It's not really doing anything interesting. And it's actually pretty low now. It's at 33.
33,
So I guess the news don't really matter to people when it comes to Proven and this bank. Second thing, how many banks has Proven bought at this point?
Well, I know they acquired something in St. Lucia back in 2016. I know them have a 20. I think them have like a 20% in JMB.
That's also another banking group which has a 20% in Sagicor Financial, and yet still Proven share price just not moving. Why? Because reality is nobody cares. They're I mean, for the first time in a long time, I think they're undervalued. But again, it's not just being undervalued that's going to move it, right?
People are willing to purchase it.
You have to give people a reason to buy it. Are you buying it?
I bought a few because I saw, as you say, it was a bit low. I like them. So I bought a bit speculatively, just in case. I was waiting to see if there would be any interest in the market, but as I said, people seem to not care because, as I say, it's old news. It's not doing anything. But I was thinking now that it's completed, maybe, just maybe, a little part of me was hopeful. But
people were holding back because they thought
I thought first it might be holding back. Yeah, well, not that it wouldn't come through, but just it was just another acquisition for them. But now that it's finished, maybe it would have like a spike, you know, and a come back down. But as I say, nobody seems to be interested right now.
Yeah, maybe I'm right. Maybe you're right. When was the announcement of the thing that it wrapped up?
February 2nd, I think, 2022.
If you're checking the price between now and then, the price is up.
Well, I am up, you know. I'm up, but I thought I would be up more.
Why?
Well, so you thought you'd be up more. So basically, so you're targeting a much larger gain then.
Yeah, my
from
target was somewhere around 36, 36, 38. That was my
really.
target. But
Are you bought in at what?
And by now, you're saying basically.
I bought in about I think my fill, if I include fees, I would be about 31. Yeah.
No, when and when was that? When did you buy? You bought
That
on
was like
announcement, the
February.
news? Oh.
Yeah, like February 2nd in a day or February 3rd. And I don't remember when I was filled.
Mm-hmm. So you were waiting on the. It's funny. That's funny because you're doing the thing you said other people. You thought other people would have done.
Exactly. So I was projecting.
That's not a bad thing. And I think that's a good basis to say what people will do, but they have to do it more than that. It have to be all right. What people do, but I would. You're saying if you would do it, then somebody else would do it, and that's not necessarily bad, but that it always works, all right? So.
Which we know it not always works. But I just figured because I know everybody come on and talk about CPG already, which I was into and all of that. So I just figured to be to throw something else in the spokes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you buy, what was I going to know? Did you bought CPG and sold it, you said?
Yeah, I bought CPG and sold it.
And put the money in proven.
I don't think I think proven money was cash that was there. CPJ money still sitting down. I might
looking for a home.
I'll be looking for a home. But proven money was different money. Yeah. So my only trades this side of 2022 were I sold CPG, I sold ECL, Spurtree. What else? I think I cashed out and we Cinco as well.
Well, you're still in cash. So you don't buy things? That's going on.
Oh no, well, I was just this side of the year, my first purchase was proven. I haven't bought anything 2022 yet, so I'm doing my little.
Valentine's is this week, gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't tell her nothing, you know. She knows you have money put on.
Bro, I always have money, bro.
Do it.
I don't, I remember I was a guy who told you the Chase from Mayberry story.
Oh, that's where they go?
From last week.
I'm going to go backtrack again, man. Remember when I tell you, when I just start, I try day trade SOS. Way back in the day, early investment days. What kind of things kind of change up at this point.
Gotcha.
But yeah, as I said, literally deal say a while ago kind of moved me. So I think I might book a session in Grow because as he rightfully said, you never know too much. You never done learning, yeah. And then Danai, when your calendar finally free up, might get like a consultation too. Yeah, man, do anything, man.
When you the kind of free up when the May announcement drop.
Yeah.
Right, so I look out for your boss.
Boy.
All right. Big up Mr. CW.
Yeah, man, big up boss.
Next we have is I'm losing track of who was in which line. But guys, you can put your hands up in there if you have a question or if you're in as a speaker. Thank you, David. How you know that Yakini was next?
I've been watching the movements of the speakers coming in and out.
Big up, David. You had a question, David, since you grabbed the spotlight.
No. I was just I'm just in the background, just adding the contributions and the hashtag and everything. And
Big up for that.
David. Yeah, man. Respect.
Proven was that today, well, not today, but they declared dividend of 0.0041 US cents, but 66 cents GMD, which is their largest dividend ever, and it comes up to $3.1 million US dollars.
Word.
So,
how much is it?
Per share? 0.0041 USD. And if you want your dividends in Jamaican dollars, it's 0.66 GMD per share.
So what's the thing there? Yield on that? What's the yield there, sir?
1.95%. When I did the trailing 12-month, the yield it came up to 3.81% with this current dividend.
No, just the yield on the current share price. JMD
no, I said
is
1.95% at the current price.
1.92.
0.2299 US was the price I used.
Okay, I use 158.03. Thanks to my money, JA. It's right here in the
You're
corner.
using JD price.
Yeah, I'm using the BOJ's price, which is what my money JA pulls.
No, I use the US dollar dividend with the US dollar stock price. That's where I got that yield from, as I mentioned.
Oh yeah, but it's like you and 6 people that own the US dollar shares. So
yeah,
I'm going off the Jamaican dollar.
Where people actually buy.
Yeah, going off the Jamaican dollar shares. Yeah, the US dollar market not showing any light right now.
Yeah,
it
but
hasn't been for a while.
Well, I was going to point out that, when you were saying that he thought persons would have just moved on to proven, I was kind of surprised. It's good that he acknowledged that he probably need to do more research, because to be honest, like I use proven more time while just just sometime collecting percent when I have opportunity, and just compound percent every time when I see the opportunity. So buy at 0.22, sell at 0.22, for example, and just trade between that spread, for example.
Which means... so the US, so you on the US side, you're doing that.
Yeah, as I said, so make sure you sell that I don't necessarily convert to JMD, but if it's in the bank, you get 0.1% annualized interest. What is that?
Yeah. I mean, compared to the savings account, you're definitely beating it. And you're right, you can do the sort of swing trading you're talking about on proven USD, because volume, at least so far this year, has been there. And the percentage swings have also been there. That is actually one of those stocks that I look to hear people talk about when they're talking about swing trading. As you can see, the volumes are there. It trades heavily enough, but it doesn't move outside of that band very much.
As you mentioned, there's a band.
Yeah, there is a band. But thanks for that, David. Yakini, as David pointed out, you were next in line.
Hey man, evening everybody.
Evening,
thanks for that, David. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly, with my limited investment knowledge, speak about 2 stocks that I'm curious about. One being Jamaica Broilers, and the other one being Knotsford Express. No,
which one you want to talk about first?
Jamaica Broilers.
All right.
So yeah, I noticed that chicken prices have been skyrocketing recently, and a lot of that is attributed to, as far as I understand it, corn prices and raw material prices going up because of the supply chain issues, the input costs in producing chicken, causing chicken prices to go up, costs to go up, and then so far this year. You mean I don't know how many times, but in terms of in Jamaica, how many times has JBG price increased in Jamaica?
No, let me not interrupt you. Finish your point.
Oh, yeah. So I know that as far as Jamaica is concerned, Jamaica Broilers hasn't been increasing the price of chicken proportionate to what I would imagine the costs have been going up by, in comparison to like what from a very short analysis of what's been happening in the US. It's chicken prices there are more reflective of what the input costs are varying by, and I guess here we might have restrictions because of what the market can afford and how it might actually affect sales. They recently announced a price increase. I'm not exactly sure how often they've increased prices over the past year, but I do know that chicken prices across the board have been going up, at least on the consumer end. And I'm not so sure how much of that is due to Jamaica Broilers price increases or just a supply and demand situation. And I know that over the Christmas break, at least looking at some of the previous data that I could find on JBG, their best performance is usually within the 3rd and 4th quarter. That's like the Christmas months and the spring months, I guess, because of school and tourism, I'm assuming. And it's usually, as far as revenue is concerned, Jamaica is slightly more profitable than their US operations, but it's as far as revenue is concerned, they're very close. I don't remember exactly what the number is, but just from looking at the previous quarterly report that they had put out, and I think it was end of October, the numbers were seemingly comparable to 2019, the 2019 quarter, 6 months coming up to 2019, as far as operating profit was concerned. And I'm hypothesizing, and that quarter, the second quarter, is usually their worst quarter as well. But I'm hypothesizing, if the prices are now starting to increase, if there's a supply issue that I'd imagine, or a demand spike, I don't know if they're going to be able to match the supply, but if they added infrastructure in place, I'm not so sure. I don't know. I don't understand exactly the business operations that well, but if the demand is increasing, if they're able to raise their prices and match the margins accordingly, and a good amount of their margins are from the US as well. I don't know what they've been doing over there in terms of their pricing, etc. But is it not unreasonable to expect that their Q3 and Q4 results should be considerably, I guess, improved than their 2020 Q3 and Q4, and even their 2019 Q3 and Q4? And then overall, their price as a result of that should, I guess, increase for the better part of since this COVID fiasco started.
Randy, can I just add a little bit of context?
No, David.
So is around the context, or just the price increase part he was asking about?
Okay.
So Jamaica Brothers announced a 10% increase at the end of January. With respect to the last 2 years, they increased price at least two different times in 2021. I don't remember which specific periods, but they increased at least 2 times during that period.
Big up, David. That's a great point.
Thank you so much.
All right. Sorry, startled me for a second, Yakini. Think about what you're asking, really. You're asking if for some reason that if they raise the Jamaican prices, are they going to raise it enough to catch back where they need to be with the market, with their business? Forget the market for a second. Do you think that's realistic? Have you looked at the numbers?
Profits. Well, I did look at the annual report.
Not operational profits, net profits. Just use the net profits. Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me. I did glance over it, a few weeks ago, I think.
I do know. So their profits are significantly behind. At the 6 month mark, their profits are significantly behind. I don't remember the exact number.
For the last quarter, for Q2?
At the end of the 6 month period, they were at a profit of 871.5 million versus same period the year before, 1.1 billion. So almost 200 million missing. And
right, but what I'm, like I said, there's a number of reasons I hypothesize that could happen. One that I hadn't mentioned was I think the impact of the lockdowns and the no movement days in the first part of the year.
That was happening in 2020 also. In fact, it was happening worse in 2020, and they made more money.
Okay. And also the input costs would have also increased. So I don't know.
It was happening worse in 2020. Also in 2020, the Haitian market was blowing up in a bad way.
Right? Yeah, I remember seeing that as well.
It hasn't gotten any better. The US market is where the strength is. I think it's not that simple. I think Jamaica Brothers might surprise us, but not necessarily for market reasons. If they're behind on the last quarter by about 15%, raising prices by 10% will not get you there. They do a second price raise, yeah, sure, maybe it might get you there on a per quarter basis or in the future, but as it is now, they need something else. I think there's something else could come from maybe they're getting they could get bought out. the ownership of this company is not as solid as I once thought, meaning there's no like 70-80% owner. So there's lots of things that can happen there. But on a company, on a straight dollar for dollar basis, I don't know. You said you looked at the last quarter. You see how much more money they made? 18 billion. 18.
That was a 6 months ending Q2 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, in profit, net profit.
2021, meaning October. In October last year, they made 18.2 billion in terms of revenue, which is roughly 4 billion more than the year before during the pandemic, and this profit was still lower.
Yeah. You can see how the cost of sales run that down.
Yeah. So it's not as simple as that. And then you imagine you're taking these theories, piece of the business, and then also throwing on top of it the hope that an improvement there will mean an improvement in the share price.
Well, yeah. I mean, I made sure to hold off on the share price part before making clear that the point I was trying to make was the results should for Q3, which I think should be coming out soon. Should be a considerable improvement. But like I said, like you correctly pointed out, the 10% probably won't on its own be enough. But I was, coupling that with the fact that, the tourism sector is booming again. I would imagine that a good portion of their sales would have been tourism, but what is sales if it's not profitable sales in the first place?
But so, if it's the tourism, if it's the tourism,
if it's tourism, you'll have higher margins. For sales, generally speaking, should have higher margins.
So they may very well have a surprise coming, but that is the gamble. Well, you'd have to look at it and have an understanding of what's happening within that sector in terms of chicken sales. Now, that very well could be happening. There's more tourists eat chicken in Jamaica than Jamaicans. In generally chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
Then when you consider that JBG is a sole supplier of KFC, we might come close. But there's just literally millions more tourists that pass through our shores every year than people who live here. So maybe the resurgence of the tourist market might mean a resurgence in JBG results, and that could be true. But you'd have to be sure about that. So that's what you'd be betting on if you put your money on JBG.
Yeah, that's the gamble I'm trying to make. They had a jump on 9% today. I don't know why, but they had a jump of 9%.
The share price is going to move every day,
Yeah. I know it's not necessarily any measure of any trend. I'm just saying, just mentioning. But
it dips and it falls. I'm not saying that it's not going to keep. It's not going to keep going up, or there's something exciting, but it looks nice on the graph, but.
It's not a real data point.
6 months ago, it don't mean anything. It is a data point, but
it's a data point, but not representative of a trend. That's what I mean.
You need more context.
Yeah. It's isolated anomaly. Forget the data point, which is terrible because I should really know that. But we'll see. I just wanted to hear your feedback on that. But the other one now is not.
If a company makes significantly more money, then it's likely that it's going to be more attractive to the investing public, but it has to consistently do it, and it has to consistently remain attractive to the investing public.
Right, and that's the next thing. I don't know if they're, generally
good results
speaking.
are probably one of the lower. It's very low on the scale of things that move stocks, in my view.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But
it's unfortunate. It is
I wouldn't say unfortunate, just reality. And they can have a strong basis behind that. It's not that we're saying that they don't move, but the type of movements and that ties in a lot of that. Good results move fast all the time. It's just not the only thing or the strongest thing.
It's not anywhere near the strongest thing, I find. You said the other one, Knutsford Express.
Yeah, good segue actually, because their volumes are nowhere. But I would expect, when I don't remember which quarter it is, but I think there are some results coming out.
You should use my money, JA. My money JA.com.
Yeah, I use it to know.
What quarter it is.
Yeah,
shows
you're
what
right.
quarter is coming
You're
out
right.
next.
You're right.
The third
You're right.
quarter is coming out next. End of February 28th. That's the end of that quarter, and it's reported then April.
Yeah.
April 15th.
April 15th. It tells you when it's. Oh, I didn't know. My money told me when the report was going to come out. That's fantastic.
The calendar also shows you. My money JA also allows you to know. Yeah. But yeah, April 15th.
April. All right, cool. But yeah, Knutsford, I am assuming when COVID happened, their reports started taking a big nosedive. So I'd imagine that's because not only are Jamaicans traveling a lot less, but more importantly, tourists are traveling a lot less. I know a big part of the business is also parcels, and the ship packages all over the island. But the packages aren't the same boats that the people aren't.
Hold on, you say when COVID happened, they took a deep dive.
Yeah. Is
that
not correct to say? I don't remember, but I think that's what I saw when I checked. I don't remember. But
it's crazy to me when people say that. So yeah, so people are watching on YouTube can see it on screen. In terms of when COVID started, I think the first COVID case in Jamaica was on March 4th, 2020. So that's this dip here. That's this heavy dip here that he's talking about. But if you just go back a little bit, you realize it was dropping long before. It's been falling from the middle of May 2019. Yeah, it's been falling from the start of 2019. So yes, it took a heavier dip when COVID hit, but not that much. In fact, it came back a little bit later. In April, it was back to its usual pace of falling, and it has continued until the early 2021, when it got back to what would have been a new high for $8 odd, and it's still in that region now, close to that 792.
And not budging, hasn't budged for a good while. 799.
Are you buying it?
I mean, I did buy some. I'm taking the gamble. Recently, like last week or this week. I'm taking the gamble.
Where you expect it to go?
I expect it to go up when the results come out. I didn't know that they were going to come out in April. If that was the case, I would have waited a little bit. But
well, isn't that crazy? You're putting money into something without knowing the thing that's dangerous. But where do you expect it to go?
You're correct. I expect it to go up because when the results come out, I'm expecting at the very least. Oh, in terms of value or dollar value?
That works. Dollar value, yeah.
The price, I'm assuming at least $9.
$9. So
that's my target.
That's where you will sell.
That's where I'm hoping at least I can at least sell. But I was my timeline. I mean, investing is hoping to a certain degree, hoping on a basis. But because I recognize that their quarter ended this month, so I was I thought that the results were going to come out in March, but it's in April, so that's a longer timeline than I initially anticipated for. So that's why I do your due diligence, guys. But so I expect it to go up by $9, but if it takes so long, then that's not necessarily my timeline, because it's not going nowhere right now.
Who says it's going to take?
It don't necessarily have to. It don't necessarily have to. Like I said, I'm a novice to this thing, and I really just started this thing seriously a few weeks ago.
That's fine.
I've been so much.
You don't even have to be an expert. I'm helping you out. Everybody already knows enough to invest sensibly. You just have to actually be honest with yourself about what you're thinking. If you're thinking that you want to invest and you chose to invest in Knutsford because you expected to go to $9, you bought that what?
$7.89.
$7.89. That's not bad. Okay, so you bought it. So you're hoping for how much gain?
Well, if it's at $9, I don't remember the exact figure right now.
14%.
14.
Like 14%. Yeah.
Before
so you bought it for 14%. So you're really maybe about 10%. So you bought it to make 10% in what time?
Well, like I said, I anticipated mid-March, but that's not likely going to be the case now. But who knows? Like I said, results don't necessarily translate to market reception. But I don't have
The
any reason to believe. The anticipation also might,
The anticipation
might
of results tends to move a stock more than the actual results.
Actual results.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very often you see it moving up and then.
Yeah.
Right.
That happened with Mailpack last year.
Mm-hmm. It's a what's the saying? Buy the rumor, sell the news. At least that's what people will be trying to do.
I've never said that, but
nah, I didn't say you said that.
No. I'm making a point. But I've never said that for a reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a crazy. The context in which that is sensible is crazy. But
that's probably for me.
There's a lot of sayings these days, but I think the lesson that anybody can hear from here is that it's not that you shouldn't buy something on even on the basis that you're buying it on, because it's not necessarily the worst basis. These guys, travel and tourism impacts these guys heavily. When there is more travel and tourism, they'll get positive business impact. So it's not necessarily the worst thing. I remember what I said earlier. You don't necessarily want to be buying when there is noise. So you may very well just be buying it ahead of everybody else talking.
That's what I'm hoping for, you know. I'm hoping that I'm not just very, very wrong.
We can get some confirmations. Was tourism travel actually happening in the period that you're predicting?
Well, how do I get that metric? I imagine
for it sometime.
Yeah, you have to dig for it, you know. But my hypothesis is, if there's a tourism boom, I mean, I guess I have to really figure out how to actually confirm that. But it's not done by already still. But I guess it can help me know if I should sell earlier or later. But
you keep
the resilient corridor and all of that.
You mean
out of tourism is no movement. I'm not saying that didn't happen in that quarter.
In theory.
I'm just saying actually check what happened in that quarter.
I get you. I hear you.
I was going to point out that the company supported their results in last month actually for the second quarter, and as a shareholder, you could always just call the CEO or just email and say, has there been a recovery in tourist demand? Dead serious.
True, that's a route, but all right. I hope the thing is when you call these guys, they might say something and it might not quantitatively. It might not actually give you the answer you want. You're actually asking. You can say, yeah, man, but it's one more person from tourism. How would that help you, really? You know, getting that answer is not.
It's a question. You might not get the result you want, but it's still you doing your due diligence and just going to.
So him say yes. What do you do with that information, David?
You do it based on what objectives you had and see if it actually adds any significant value, depending on what you wanted to find out.
All right, okay. You can call the company. I hope we get the answer you need.
Yeah, well, I'm not so optimistic.
All the best there.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a data point all the same. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for the feedback. I appreciate it and good space.
Yeah, man,
no problem. You're welcome. Jerry, Dainty Jerry, thank you for being very patient. I hope you not drop asleep.
Another Jerry. I will start calling Dainty Jerry.
Thank you guys for allowing me to speak. I've been listening to you for quite some time, following you on Twitter as well. I'm a novice investor. Started with Wigton and basically invested in a unit trust, and after realizing that I got 0% last year, decided that maybe I could try and do something myself. So I've been watching YouTube videos, following Learn, Grow, Invest, listening to you guys, following you on Twitter. But as the kids say, I think the vibes, the investing with just vibes, that is reaching me to an extent. And I have a question for you. Wisynco. I bought Wisynco sometime in 2020. I think 2020 or 2021. At some point in time, I don't remember right now. Nervous as hell. For
sorry, you can calm down. Let me bring you through the calming, because I know everybody's suffering. Let's take a moment. You've been waiting for a long time. You invest a lot. You say it just start.
Yeah. So I bought it.
No, man, tell us when it's just.
I started investing with Wigton. So that year, that was my first stock.
Only for people that are 2019, middle of 2019. All right.
Right.
You sell back the week ton, or you still own them?
No, can I tell you that I have the problem there too? I
You
can't
watch
let
it go
go.
all the way up and watch it come
And then
all
you
the
watch
way
it go all
down,
the
right?
way down.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
anxiety was killing me, so I stopped watch it. But
And now
then,
you're
That's
right
funny.
back where you
That's
bought
funny.
it.
You
yeah,
stop watch it. It never getting pick up with
all
the
right.
child.
So,
So
yes, well,
you have to watch it.
at the
But in
time,
that time, you
sorry,
have received some dividends, so that's good.
right. So during that period, I wasn't really interested in trading per se. So I just
What's
basically
trading?
checked them. Um, my interpretation of trading is actually buying and selling stocks at a profit, based on an
Sorry,
established.
That's funny. That's actually hilarious, by the way. I wanted to know that it's actually hilarious. So what is investing?
Well, the same thing, I don't know.
So you see that? So I call one trading
all
and you
right,
call one
so no,
investing, and the two
what
of them are.
you know why,
I
Danai? Because people like you are out on the internet doing trading. You're investing profitably, right? While we're
so
investing, we're not trying to make
I
a
was
profit.
thinking trading myself as opposed to having a broker do it for me. So
Okay,
that is what I was referring to specifically.
no problem. And by the
So
way, sorry to cut you. I know I'm cutting you like David here, but
no
I know you
problem.
think we're laughing at you. We're not laughing at you.
We're laughing at the
The
internet.
thing, yeah, and the thing
People.
that you say is that we hear it all the time. That's why I asked you
Yeah.
what's trading. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'll tell you the reason I keep interrupting and pushing because I know where you're going towards. That you kind of want to tell you whether
Mhm.
or not we Cinco is a good thing to own and you should
No,
keep it.
no,
No,
that
because
is
you
not
know we
the
shouldn't give
question.
advice, but you want
Right.
to know what we feel around with Cinco.
No, I'm confident
No,
in Wisynco
Of that.
I like that.
that it
I
is a
like that.
solid company. So based on my research, the companies that I
Hold
buy,
on. Hold on, not may I carry it because I feel like being kind to you, especially because you stick with the week done for so long. So we're going to start it over. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Just work with me. Trust me.
sure,
There's no tricks
no
in any of
problem.
this.
No problem.
The money
I'm
that you
here
have
to
in with
learn.
Cinco, the money you have in with
Mhm.
Cinco, what you have it for?
Mhm.
Like what you want from it? The money you
What?
invest in, what you want from it? What you want? How much money you want to make?
All right. We can't tell them a goal, cause
Well, that's exactly what I'm asking. I'm just asking it in a different way.
okay. All right. So my goal initially was to just put some money in stocks and save that way for long term.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So I
All
was
right. So
thinking,
it's like an emergency money.
right.
All right.
Then, recently I got some, I guess, yeah, some investments that I had. I got a lump sum. My daughter is at COMC now, and in a year and a half, basically, she will be going to university.
Ooh.
So
You need to put.
essentially, I was saying maybe based on the vibes on Twitter and
Jesus.
just follow. I'm being honest and I'm being frank.
No man, do
Nothing
it.
wrong
That
with
was
that. I
it.
love
Nothing
that.
wrong with that.
I
That
love
was
that. I
the
love
thought
Best
that.
thing to
process.
do.
I follow a few of you guys. I noticed that persons have been making gains, significant.
Some people.
Some people. And I said to myself, instead of really and truly, I got propelled because I was going to put it in a fixed deposit. And when I started looking at the rates that people getting in fixed deposit, me grieve. So me say, get what? Might as well I try my hand at it. So that is when I started doing a little bit more research, watching a lot of videos and stuff like that, reviews on some of the companies, Googling some of the companies, and
Like
this
that.
kind of, that is how I made some of my decisions on stock. So that is how I ended up buying with Cinco. But as I explained, I was holding
No,
on to
sorry.
some.
Sorry to cut you. How long ago was it that you bought those Cinco?
I think I bought with Cinco I believe I bought with Cinco in 2020.
Oh,
All right, 2020. Yeah. Whichever time it was, it went down to $17.90. That is when I bought it. So it's either, I can't remember if it's 2020 or 2021, because I was watching some videos at the time and they said the best time to buy is when there's a crisis, basically. So, you know, people were selling.
Which is not wrong. Which is not wrong. Big up, I like that. That's not wrong. Because then you get to benefit from the recovery.
Yes, I was looking at that we think was coming down in excess of $25. So I said, okay, buying it at $17.90 wouldn't be bad, but then it dipped further. And I decided that I saw it go down to $16 plus, right? And because you know it's so low for so long, I decided that I was not going to buy it until it hit $15.80. I do not know. Well, I was trying to average down my $17.90, right? So I decided that I'm not going to buy it until it gets to $15.80, right?
Why that number?
Because I think that would have brought me down to like $16 or something like that. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I remember the method to the madness, but my sweet spot was $15.80, right? To buy the stock. It continued. Now me see they go, me see, you know, $16 rising or whatever. I still did not buy it. Because me say it's too expensive.
It reached for my price. Now wait for my price.
Yes. And now it brushed $20. And I'm confident in the company that I want to hold it, you know? And so that is really my question. How me get over that? Because it's ridiculous to me. I've done it more than once, but the Wisynco is the most recent one.
And you know, it's one of the mistakes I find that people make so often, and somehow they're not afraid to make it again. They keep doing it. And so
it's the people that talk to. It's the people that talk to. You know what?
I think so. Definitely that.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing. So I have, well, you know, I have this space and I have conversations privately, and I also have my growth subscribers group. And somebody in that group once described it as, what did you say? She said, I don't say it's profitable, it's good, but she also says it's intense. And I realize why. Because we have lots of fun in there. We give jokes. I mean, there's a lot of market information all the time. We break things down. But if ever anybody is talking about why they expect a stock to go, you can still be jokey, you can still be fun, but you have to have a solid basis for it.
Yeah.
And then what you'll find is that I have conversations like this, where I ask people what they really want. And then what they've been doing, and you often find that there's a huge disconnect between the two things. And then this one is also a common one where you pick the thing out, you know, you do your research, you watch your video, them, you see it, and then you still turn around and boy, I never really do it because you know. And here's the thing: you did all that research to see if Wisynco was going to be a stock that would rise from the $17.90, where in fact from the $15 and a little bit where you see it. And you were right, and it started to rise, which is the thing you went and did the research for. And you never buy it. And you say you wait until it got 15.80, but it went below 15.80 in 2021.
I did not see it.
I understand, and I'm so sorry. Why? Go mymoneyja.com. Let me show you this for the people on YouTube watching this. If you're watching this in the future, you go mymoneyja.com.
Yeah.
And you go to this little part here, tools, alerts. Yeah, man. You see, you can do it that way. Or if you're on the page of the stock that you're paying attention to, you can just click. You can just click.
Create alert.
Sorry, that's me zooming in it. You can just click create alert. Right there. And boom, you create a little alert for yourself if it's a stock you care about. Now, if you want to have a lot of alerts, you have to have a paid account. If you just want to look at 1 or 2 alerts, we'll give that. We'll bankroll it and we'll give it for free. And you put in there, you could have put in and say, I am 16.95. The second it passed 16.95, you trade at that price, want it, send me an alert. And you get to either email. If you have Telegram, it send it to your phone. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, knock on wood, it should be going to your WhatsApp. You can get an email. So you have a whole heap of options in terms of getting it. That's just a general thing, not just how we Cinco, but just generally. To have you have an idea of how we can help alert you. Because if you have your busy life or you have your child taking care of, you don't really have time all the time for watch a market. So make the computer watch a market and make it ping you if something happen, right?
Something go on.
No. Going back to the actual investment, you do the research to see if it'll go up and you see it'll go. What you waiting on then?
Me just tell myself say I must mean because me not understand it. me not know. I hear, you guys talking, and a lot of the mistakes that you have highlighted for beginners, I'm guilty of. Like,
It's not beginners alone, Mom. It's not beginners alone.
No, definitely not beginners alone. But I haven't heard.
Oh, okay.
What is your price when you say you don't do Cinco?
I haven't decided that.
I know I figure out because it's going up, and you're that fear you have about if should I buy more, that's tied to that because you have defined. You say you figure they go up, but you never really figure out fully to say where do they go. So it reached 20, and you say, Jano, is it still good to buy at 20? It was good at 16.90, but is it really good to buy at 20? Because I thought it would go up above 16.90. I never check if it go up above 20. I never check how far it go. So now, if you would say if it says $100 stock, say that jump in at 20. But suppose it's $18 stock. Suppose it's $21 stock, you never really want to buy it for the 20 to 21. That's the idea. If you don't define that, then you can really have that fear. You don't know where you have no idea where it's going.
Yes.
So you have no idea to join the train.
That speaks to me because I do not know that for any of the stocks that I have currently.
I would say you should try to define that as much as possible.
At last count, I have 17 stocks.
Okay. What I like is that you have a lot of buying experience. That's good. How many of them have you ever sold?
I sold some mail pack. I sold Poetry. Because I bought mail pack at IPO, got about 21,000 units. Did not purchase anymore, and me just take it. So me don't know. Me just say me not buy mail pack at $3. So me just sell it and use it to reinvest.
Have you done any classes at all?
No. YouTube University, basically. No, I've definitely decided that I will have to do the grower class after tonight because I've been on several of your spaces. And still weighing options and stuff, and the April and May and all these things because I watch them.
Let me tell you this. I'll tell you two things. One, you see how you watch the share price and it fly. I know you watch the night class and it fly.
It happened to me literally. Like when I announced January classes, I say the consultation and stuff. And when you said that you had the full day class, I said, the full day class now go work for me, And you have this split class now, like literally tonight, just decide to say, you not talk to me too much tonight, be guilty present. So I definitely have to do something now. Like it obvious. Me can't stay in denial no longer. So I have to do something now. Because it's serious.
Here's what you can do. If you do the so if you're looking on YouTube now, between now and 11:59 p.m. On Valentine's Day, you can get 5% off a grower class by using the code Valentine's Bricks. So when you sign up and ask for a discount code Valentine's Bricks, you get 5% off. Now I'll give you one thing I know, two things I know for sure, and one thing I can maybe try and promise. One, you do the class, you will not leave with this level of I don't know. What you're talking about is something that even I face sometimes. Ask Danai. no matter how far along the journey you are, you face it. I face it publicly. How many weeks I talk to people about FESCO? And me, I said, and me, I explain Fesco to people, you know, brother. Week after week after week after week.
Every week somebody come and ask about Fesco. Every week Randy tell them, yeah man, this will go on Fesco. And it tap me.
I'm watch it. You and me watch it same way. I'm just watch the future energy. They shouldn't say future. They know that gas is not the future. So future energy source company. I just watch the share price fly and I don't own any, right? So imagine 291, me and you, and it's not long ago, and it's not other people, and me I explain to people why it's good. And usually, I'll say it openly. Usually, if I'm talking about why a company is good, I own some shares in it. I don't work there. I work here, and I need money. All right.
Yeah.
My Valentine's coming up for all of us, you know. So you have to you actually invest. But this, just like you, me explain to people. I know multiple reasons why this thing is a must buy. And watch me, no buy. I know they fight. But put the alert in. You notice when I showed you the alerts on screen a while ago, what else was there? There are just two alerts. The one I'm gonna show you, Wisinko, and the lexical idiot one, Fesco, for $5. And it went off today, and it I am going to ask him for that. And if it happens, there will be an official announcement. So if it don't happen, if you don't see an official announcement, it don't go so. All right. So please don't stress man out with with anything saying it must go so. All right. Please. More work. That's true. That's true. So I'm not promising that will happen, but I can promise you that at least you will not
watch the queue and hope to God that the price I told him to get, what I could have get already, actually works out now after the thing run gone. So it's like they wait until it pass and then they try. The thing happens that they were waiting on, so they're now trying to buy back. They're going to walk into the pass and try to get the stocks after it don't move. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what you say?
So there's no one size fits all answer. You kind of have to work with whatever is best for you in the situation. Like I do a lot of market orders. I don't do a lot of limit orders.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah. So I don't. It is very much a. It's very much a situation dependent thing. Because there are other times when I will just do a limit order. But I don't have enough money to have my money sitting in the queue waiting.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I make decisions.
Yeah. And I guess also if you see a play in the queue, you can actually go match it right away or something. Or if you if there's a set percentage you're trying to make, then you might work it down to the T where a limit order might suit you. Again, and also it depends on the time.
Not work it down well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dana.
The percentage I go in for, I would not work it down like that. If the percentage I looking for, as long as the thing I can buy is there. So if I looking for 30%, it's at 8. So the stock is at 8. I think I go to 13. Then I'm fine buying everything up to 10.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to buy. You can't tell me now. Like, why am I waiting on this deal when 10 is good for me? Yeah. So very often I'm buying. The limit order thing is very, very scarce for me, and it often is because when I usually do it, it's because I expect that for some reason I'm looking and I'm going to get that sell down to happen. And I don't often look for that, especially nowadays. I don't have the time for that. Let's go buy.
Yeah. Wanna move?
I'll tell you this. A lot of the common thought is that we do a lot differently. What people think we do is not what we do. That's the simple truth. People think we do one thing that is not what we do. People think in front of your computer every day, you're on the market. No. I would love if I could, but very often no. I tell people I do most of my investing these days between 1 and 3 a.m. That's the only time when I really get the peace and nobody not necessarily bothering me or you get a chance to look at it. And then when I'm making decisions there, and I'm putting an order in for it to go sit down in the pre-open and get mixed up. So I waited until I made the decision faster. If you think about realistically what I'm telling you, it means that I'm looking at something 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm not putting in the order. So if I sleep, let's say I go to bed 4 a.m. If I get, let's say I get 6 hours sleep, I'm up 10 a.m. The market's already open. So I'm then buying something that I'm hoping is not too far away from where I expect. And usually I don't hope. Hope is not a strategy. So you look on the queue and you make a decision. So let's say I wanted Wisynco. Let's say the market's home tomorrow and I was thinking of Wisynco. I'm accepting that unless I'm willing to sleep less and wake up for 9:30. I'm probably not going to get it at $20. If whatever I'm expecting to happen is going to happen then, right? So I have to make to my mind that when I'm buying the thing at $20.50 or $20.89 or maybe even $21. And if I still want my 10% profit, I'm considering that I can't sell it until $24, $25. That's the reality of investing. No, you don't have to do that. But oftentimes I find that the people who don't do that, they don't make profit. And they also they make profit, but they make the worst kind of profit. They make accidental profit. Yeah, you don't want to be making accidental profit. You want to make profit in a deliberate, targeted, repeatable way. Yeah, man. You want to know, say you make this and you make this off this reason, right? And you shouldn't be surprised by the
thing that makes it a profit.
Exactly.
It's like, boy, this result come out and I make some accidental profit. But you weren't there for those results. Yeah.
That's not what you want to be doing at all. Did you look at any other results? Since you all know, you can tell us any other results you looked at that you liked, that you found interesting.
Yeah, I had looked at CPJ and Fesco. Those are the only two I really looked at. Over the weekend, I'm going to go to somewhere, but I've not looked at anybody else. Thing there, what I noticed though, since Massey came out, pretty much been going down, and so I'm actually gonna try and buy some more.
Okay, why do you think that is? Why do you think it hasn't sink in so much since it dropped?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's the Chinese them selling it. I don't know who's selling it. And also, tell me something. Who's the type of person who buys a massive stock? Is it institutions? How it go? Retail?
How much stock you have?
Me?
Yeah.
No, only. I think
so
I have
you bought it, right?
Yeah. I have
so
about.
You are the type of person.
So you are the
type of person who has bought massive stock.
Yeah, but I mean, who would buy larger volumes? Is it still individuals or
who buys
mainly?
larger volumes?
Huh?
Generally in the market, who buys larger volumes?
And what is larger volumes, by the way?
All right, so what I have in there is probably about.
No man, answer the actual question asked. Generally on the stock market, who buys larger volumes of anything?
I would say institutions, companies.
There you go. And rich people, really rich people.
Yeah.
Pensions.
Yeah.
Brokerage houses. Unit trusts, right? A lot of unit trusts buy a lot of stocks early out. So yeah.
So
I think that's it.
All right. Work with that.
Yeah, but Massey has been interesting, Randy.
Very interesting. You looked at the new results that came out, the latest results?
Yes, sir. A glimpse the profit. I don't think the when get the P&L.
Yeah.
Looking pretty
Revenue
nice,
up a little bit, profit up a little bit. I don't know if anybody cares though. That's
curious. That's
I think that's just a simple truth. The share price has been tanking, like Ling said, but
that glorious day.
That glorious day with 67,000 units,
and then
trading,
somehow
right?
we're moving back up. But such man would buy. What's him buy 1900? Those right on that.
Yeah.
But you think it's tanking because of the price, the cost per unit? Do you think a part of the reason it could be tanking is the cost per unit on the local market?
The reason it's tanking because people are selling and people are buying for lower and lower.
You done gross, so you know what share price is, right?
Yeah.
So you know the movement is the movement. As to whether or not it will continue like this. I mean, they have a stock split coming up, right? Again, check the. Yeah, repeat that. I didn't catch that.
I was saying you were saying that there's a stock split coming up, and then there's a type of effect that tends to have.
Well, I think this one is I am actually very, very, very interested in this one because I don't know if this one will act like the typical stock split. That's me who can't spell calendar there. Sorry. So if you go everymickle.com/calendar, you can see the upcoming dates, the upcoming events. It's a free thing, so you can grab it. And one of the things you'll see in that calendar is, March 11th. Massey, it's 20-1 stock split happens on that date, Friday, March 11th. No, will Jamaicans give a damn?
That's the question.
Yeah, I think that once it splits below $100, they'll care and they'll carry right back up to $100, and it will do that $100 wobble that all the $100 stocks do. That's just my view. Currently, 1979, 32 cents. 1979, 32 cents. At the 20-1 stock split, it's going to split. If it stays at this price, it will split to $98.97. Close to the $100, right? And we already have a $100 bias. Every stock that is close to $100, everybody love it before it hit 100. And then why is GK not going above 100 consistently, right?
And then you say people buying at 99 only.
Yes, yeah. But now I buy it below that. That is my price, waiting on my price, right? GK here doing it for the last 6 months. Every time it starts 105, sell off.
And then it come back down
100, sell off. Yeah.
Right now, I think it's about 103 or something like that.
104.99 as of the end of today, and who knows if it'll go higher. But the thing is, you have a lot of people who bought that 70 and 80 and 90 who every time something exciting happens, $100 is a great price to sell at to them. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's why you buy the stock, as long as it's deliberate, right?
Yeah.
So you just going to have to understand that 100. My point is that I don't think, going back to Massey, I don't think that there is going to be anything that will cause them to break that $100 cycle unless they're given a strong reason to.
Mm.
That's my view. They need a strong reason to break it. And who knows? Let's see if the offer for sale, if one comes, offer for sale of shares if one comes, or the APO if one comes, results in people rushing the shares and caring about Massey. If not, then what is happening with Massey will come another Signals.
RGHL.
Yeah.
Damn, our GHL, the GHL, the stock that split itself the hard way. You never bother split it.
And that made efforts to not be a GHL.
Price drop.
Did they make efforts to not be a GHL though?
GHL. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They can say that.
It's not about.
It's very often that thing sounds nice. The thing that they tell it.
Yeah.
That was repeated because they said it. So, but does it mean that that's? You think these guys get up and say, you know, like, did they actually do that? Let's not be a JHL because we really care about the share price doing that thing.
Yeah, did they? I mean, they came to market understanding, speaking very openly about something that GHL kind of denied. You know, like, you know, we think the Jamaican investor appetite can shift towards understanding intrinsic value, which obviously not, because people are people. And so Massey came to market with the split in mind, understanding that very often before a stock split, people rush a company that announces one, right? You heard me say earlier that if CPJ were to announce a stock split, I would be extremely happy.
Really?
I'd be extremely happy. I'd probably start ball, right? But CPJ is at what, $19-18 a share versus Massey, which if it's going to split down to $100 a share. People just think they're expensive, even when it's cheap, even when it's undervalued. Look how undervalued it is.
On GK.
Yeah, look on GK. Yeah, excellent example. Look how undervalued GK is. Look on Signals. Right? Look on JMMB. Value doesn't set the share price.
Feel it for Signals though.
Why?
Because I mean,
rich people.
No. I had like Signals, you know. I had like Signals. I was in it, and
me too. I like Signals. I bought it quite often. I think too much.
I bought it many times.
Same.
Sold it just as many times.
Yeah.
You can't feel sorry for it. The company itself isn't hurt by this, you know.
They're fine.
I know that.
Yeah, they don't care.
That's I mean, the holders of it, depending on where they come in.
Especially, you don't know what they're there for. If I buy it at 15 and I'll buy it again at 15, they know that they took a loss in. They and a lot of people are fine with that. Suppose I'm a long-term investor and Jesus, I'm a long-term investor.
Not for where it's at. Going,
I'd love a Signals. Because I can buy it for enough. Because 20 years from now, Signals might be very different when I own all the stocks, all the shares.
Not even 20 years ago, since we started talking about and pointing out
20 years from now.
2023. Yeah, but I'm saying not even 20 years from now. We spoke about that 2023 thing that is almost inevitably going to happen. Not almost inevitable, it's going to happen. The buyback. And the anticipation of that, I suspect, is going to cause Signals to look better later in the year. But right now, them could have said Puerto Rico till them Spanish. Nobody cares. No one cares. You need a reason to want to buy the stock. Like I said, I would hate to be a Signal shareholder before when JPS is in the market, assuming that JPS is well priced, right? And that's knowing that Signals.
Yeah, well priced.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Trying to Danai. Well, you're right. The Jamaica is a good example where it don't necessarily have to be well priced, but if the anticipation is hyping up in the market, people are just going to sell, right? On the back of strong first quarter results. Look at the first quarter results from Signals. Look on that, 1.5 mil US. And the share price just continues to bottom out because it's reality that sets share prices, right? And for an investor that's bleeding from this, I said openly, come to Grow. If you want, there's a Grow code on screen right now. If you don't want to come to Grow alone, there's another Grow code on screen right now for 2 people. I'll give you 10% off. Come, you learn how to do it. You learn why I said the things I said. Big up the people who have, I don't try to name the people in Grow unless them publicly say it for themselves. But lots of Signals people have done Grow. One of them did ask me one time, say, how did you know that it was going to go up in the last part of the year, right? I think that's a good example of seeing that, okay, somebody obviously knows what's happening. Let me find out what that person knows. Let me see if it's crap. Let me see if it's rubbish. And if it's not, let me make some money. And I implore anybody who is bleeding to do the same thing, because a lot of money is lost in this market from simply listening to a lot of rubbish. That's the truth. Simply listening to a lot of rubbish. And the time, look at the last year of Signals. Every time you feel good, back down you go.
Do you know how people think the job, like they should be told their goals?
Yeah, because I do Grow. So I hear people say it blows people's mind for me to get them to understand that no, I can't set your goal. You have to set your goal.
Yeah.
And you
what's
have
the
to be
goal?
honest with
And I say,
yourself.
what you can get from it? I'm like, what you want? The most I can tell is if your goal is probably too much or whatever, or I don't think I can work towards that. But what you want?
Yeah, and almost anything you want is available in the market. That's a simple truth. Almost anything you want. Yeah, it's not a joke I hear. I ignore most of the crypto guys and the Forex guys because one, they usually can't measure gain. They never know what percentage gain they've made. Yeah, then we make a whole heap of money. Okay.
Me put a whole heap of money.
Yeah, and the gains that we actually measure on the JC are phenomenal. I can't overly stress that. They're phenomenal.
But it's funny too.
Go ahead,
the crypto guys talk about when I hear the crypto and thing, the guys, the comparison, they basically often say, "Boy, why go to 15% or 5% on the JSE when you can make?" So it's funny. They talk about 15% on the JSE, but you can make millions on the thing.
On crypto market.
Forex, I'm like, so how you gone from percentage to millions? And and two, who says only 15% available? What people want. If people want a 15%, that's fine. And you can't cost a man because take what him get what him want. But there's space for people that want more than that.
Yeah. That's for anybody listening that want to learn. Come and learn. And if you don't want to learn, you get a discount also to Danai thing. Or you can just go on the Danai course, right? And for anybody wondering what... Yeah, sorry, session. I have a course here as a session. Anybody wondering what this thing that you're seeing on screen is? It's mymoneyja.com. If you are between now and the end of Valentine's night, 11:59, you want to buy somebody a gift, pay for My Money JA subscription for them or a Grow course. But mymoneyja.com is what you see on screen. You can do a lot of things on this website. If you're serious about your stocks, you need a My Money JA account. We have been going for a little while, so I'm going to pro the call. If you had something you definitely want to ask, now is the time. Then I want to sleep. I want to go sleep too.
Definitely.
So this is your last chance to send a speaking request. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about at all, now is the time. So I think, as I said, I have to give them a couple of seconds for them to actually hear that and send a speaking request. If you're on Twitter, you want to talk about anything. In the meantime, Honey Bun.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that bothers me about Honey Bun is that I shouldn't say bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wondering why is the lady, it's a funny question we get all the time, why is the director selling, right?
Selling,
Yeah, I'm not in a bad way. Like, I wonder if it's indicative of anything else, because I keep feeling like they're going to raise. I feel they're going to raise some money soon. Or there's a whole heap of... I feel like they're going to raise some money soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no basis for that other than the increases in business that they've seen. And my gut tells me that they're probably going to raise money soon. The first quarter numbers are out. They're not updated on My Money JA yet, but they will be pretty soon.
Sure.
But the financials are strong. I mean, look on that revenue growth up to December, right? Compared to December 2020.
When we spoke, I know I said a lot of clients that we moved to Honeybun from. If you're looking at this quarter, like just look at the revenues that we've seen overall this year, and then just comparing going to they're on a we did say it on the thing that they're on a completely different level of where the revenues are coming out of 2020. Yeah. So yeah, to me, if you were just to look at what's going on for the whole year so far, it's kind of what's coming.
Yeah. It's been shown, and what might also be coming doesn't seem to be here yet.
Yes. I think something big going on. If I've been looking at things.
You sound like you have something you don't want to say.
Yes.
They have an AGM coming up also, right?
Yeah.
They have an AGM coming up also. According to the calendar, at least everything the stock calendar, they have an AGM coming up in I want to say a few weeks. I want to say it's within a few weeks that they have this AGM coming up. I saw it and then I have lost it. Hold on. And this is one of the beautiful things about the calendar, that it allows you just to search for the specific company that you might have in mind. Yeah, so Honeybun's AGM.
So about legend, I'm coming to the thing then.
What, in the space?
In the space. I can't accept requests. So do that.
You should be able to, man. Just click on it and accept it.
Twitter is being weird and I don't want trouble. I've put on it and I don't get it thing there, and it's still telling me you are invited to co-host. The last time this happened, and I pressed that, I couldn't come back in, so I'm not around with it.
All right. Well, I just accepted the invite. Is that I see Sir Phil and I see Dunwell himself, the one and only, the Lord of the bag.
The bag talk himself.
Well, go on.
There, bag talk, all gone.
On my way home, man.
Okay. How is that, officer? Bro God said. Well, Bro God said the curfew got him.
See one. One on one, you know.
Anyway, Sir Donald, all go on. How you stay?
Good. Regarding Honeybun, I don't recall seeing them putting out, right, when the numbers were released, seeing them putting out their top 10. And I think it happened last time, but when the top 10 eventually came out, there were, I think, 2 surprise entries in the top 10, which would give some hint as to where the block of shares that are being sold are heading, who's buying. And it might indicate something further that I'm not ready to talk about publicly yet.
Okay. Yeah, but when you were talking about a potential raise, I share the same view. I honestly believe that it is a prime candidate for a split and raise, like split and then raise. Do you know that I believe the same thing? Yo, here's the funny thing for people listening or watching and thinking, I don't know how to put it other than I believe the same thing, but I literally have no basis. At least I know I don't have the same basis as what CRD has here, because he obviously knows something that him saying can't say, and it's not like saying whisper and tell me. Him truly, I don't know either. But the signs I've seen and the people who've done grow, and the growers who have gone through this are the people in the subscriber group, especially the people in the subscriber group who have been talking about Honeybun. We had a little race. The last time we did short-term investing for advanced grow, Honeybun was one of my picks, and I explained why. And the Shakari, I truly think that it's going to have a raise soon. I think that it's looking like it's set up to be one of them raise stocks, and The AGM is in 2 weeks. Yeah, the AGM is in 2 weeks. So again, if you want to get this calendar on your phone, it's free. everymickle.com/calendar. But this looks like it might be the year of the raise. Them off the junior market now too, Meaning not off the junior market, but the tax break is done.
Full tax.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is one of my
Which means they can come off the junior market with no hassle because same thing over there, so same thing else, right?
Yep. They can raise a lot more if they want, or they can stay on the junior market and raise.
Anyway, I think they have a lot of space.
Yeah. Yeah, a nice 200 million space. I think. I don't know why 200 million is in my head. Yeah. I think maybe Fiscal have 200 million.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Fiscal's raise it. Possible raise outside of growth. Anyway, what else are here, Sir Bags? Because I know you have all the money talking. What else are you interested in? Which of the results come out where you found interesting over the past few days?
The one result I am waiting for, like really, really waiting for, is actually not coming out until about March.
Okay. You want to see what it is?
I mean, I've said it before. It's Lombard's result that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
I think
the quiet storm, the Q3 results.
Yeah, I think I had explained it before a couple of weeks ago. But that's those are the results that I'm most eagerly anticipating.
It's an interesting thing about Lombard. Since Mayberry sold, you see the volumes every day that's us pulling through, been buying this up, And I think it can well do what it did last year on a different level. So you can see the big move we got last year from Lombard. And I think this year could be the same. Especially with all the things them line up already. Acquisition and all that niceness. Merger acquisition, sorry. And then we already seen the money they're making this year already.
Yeah. And it has been quietly growing.
You hear about CPJ and Fesco and whatever. Nobody never talks about Lombard spike.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Right, because everybody looking one way.
But see, I found some shares. I found some more, and I did get some more at some point. After that, fine.
All right,
we found money.
We found some money. We found some shares. Right?
Some shares. We find some shares.
All right. I've actually found some shares too. You said that after that I was laughing because it's in our account that I didn't pay attention to. I've had it for a little while sitting on, and I'm probably going to be adding to it. Yes, but
what?
I'm waiting for my price.
What's the start, Find some other shares somewhere else.
Yeah.
Some nice.
Yeah.
Lombard stock. Yeah, man. Some more Lombard shares somewhere else. Found again.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Wow.
Well, I'm not complaining. All this money I never knew I had. Was working for me this whole time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Closer to the results, I expect something exciting from them. And people forgot, or maybe they just never know, when the last set of results come out. And as Danai said, after Mayberry sold, there's a lot of talk from them about expansion. They buy that property from their former parent company, Blue Power, and they spoke a lot about going out, about renting out warehousing and really expanding because they really are one location store. Yeah, and I gather a lot of the sales happen from around that Papine area. So that says to me that a hardware somewhere else, a second branch might be great, right? I don't want to face another fiscal here. Although I do own Lombard shares, I don't want to face another fiscal. I don't have enough.
We don't want to run it before you start buy up.
Yeah, but I think a lot of things are gonna happen to distract the market still. You know, not to say this,
what a year, man! What a year.
Yeah, think about it. Today's the 12th of February, and you can. I look at today. Look at the next set of results due. Look at the next set of results that are due. including Cygnus.
I want to see what
Big up
Fontana will say
Cygnus.
soon. Yes,
Yeah.
I know people are eagerly anticipating Cygnus results, but a funny thing, you're not seeing the run up like you saw last time. But
You've seen a dip actually.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you've seen a dip.
I guess we were wrong about that.
Yeah, you Fontana going to G West. That's something that we haven't spoken about in a long time.
It's something every now and then somebody asks about G West.
Somebody stuck in it from IPO.
In there.
Ouch. Ouch.
Let's go Fontana.
Yeah, let's go Fontana because G West is going in the direction it has been going in a little while now.
There was some more fixes to me. A lot more fixes to me.
All right. I did say that anybody who wanted to have any questions other than the new people who just jumped in. Sir Phil, I assume that you jumped in to ask a last question.
Oh no, man, it's alright. I was gonna make a comment on Honeybun, but Kirk did.
Oh.
Okay.
Kirk spoke about the new, and you guys did as well. You spoke about the new the change in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And please make note, QWI bought more.
Yo, this man, you better be on QWI top 10 the next report, you know, brother.
Yo, listen up. Next year more on the board. Here, make it up.
I choose to take my my QWI with a cup of tea.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So do the directors apparently.
Indeed.
So Fontana, Danai. Easy web. Look on that. Can you imagine that waiting from January 2020 when you could buy it at $6.93 and you'd have had to wait the last 2 years to get it to above $10.
But nice, see?
$10.70.
But I'm more laughing at it. The 2019, not laughing, but kind of sad to be honest. But the frenzy in 2019. So 9, 8, 9. Nice.
Yes, it did spike up to this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Jeez, so there are people who are waiting from late 2018, mid 2019, just hitting profit now in 2022.
Maybe it's a long-term investor, they find it profitable 20% or so.
Oh my God. So many things have happened between mid 2019 and now.
I hope they were buying the whole time or they margin it or something to make some more money on it. Otherwise, they make some money over that long period of time. That's good.
Yeah. Shout out to the people holding from IPO.
Oh yeah, that's a nice gain. That's a nice gain.
Yeah, that is a nice one. Very, very nice. You buy this at what, $1.88? Almost a 10 bagger. And you wouldn't have done anything. So if you're somebody who bought Fontana at $1, it wasn't $1.88?
$1.88, that's all. Near 2, that's 5, probably 5 something, or 6. At 10.
You are 100% right. It's me wanting it to be 10. Sorry, guys.
I'll get say it and then I realize I stopped myself.
Yeah. 539% gain, which is no joke, right? So that in the last, 4 years, 3 years?
Big up CPJ.
Yeah, big up CPJ. Was given the same gain as Fontana in 3 months? The last 4 months? Damn.
But the truth is, that kind of gain over the 500 all over 3 years. That's good. That's actually really good. So, I'm not trying to diminish.
Especially if you forgot about it, you didn't know nothing. So somebody listening or watching us right now who go, did me have some Fontana shares. Never know how much it worth. Yeah, whatever money you got in the IPO.
Rich.
Yeah. So I hope you have a lot more or bought a lot more over time.
People got good volumes in that IPO because remember them say, when I take the bagger extra account, taking one account, I'm sorry. So the people that applied heavily through the one account got a good amount.
That's true. That's true. That's true. They did kick people off for applying with duplicate accounts. Yeah, not kick people off, as in they picked one.
Cool. You're the same person. Stop it.
Yeah. Wow, Fontana look interesting. So be surprised when them come to say, you think they're going to do an APO? I hope they don't do an APO.
I hope they do a rights issue, especially because I hope they don't need that amount. I hope they do a rights issue.
Yeah.
Especially
It's a lot of
like
money
this.
they need. There's a lot of money they need.
Yeah,
Lot.
do.
It's like what, 2 billion?
How much they raise out of day?
Yeah, well, their debt.
I think they do exposure. 500 mil? Or was it way more?
I think it's 500 million, yeah. 500 million for expansion. Because John Jackson's IC Insider. That says that 500 million of debt capital. How much space they have from IPO?
That one was a big balling point for a lot of people. They could have raised more. Take your blessings and top it nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you know. There's so much more money on the table. I'm like, brother, you vex?
Yeah. I mean, if I was them, I'd be angry, but I'm sure they have the reason for why they did what they did.
Indeed.
The 2018 IPO, and they raised how much were they asking for? Yeah, me too. As you guys can see, what I'm doing from my money, it's pretty quick.
All right, so they raised 468, but someone said a sale of shares. So they only raised 234 in truth. Yeah, so they have 300 and something. 265, 66.
Yeah.
Right.
And they raised 500 from update just now. Maybe what them do, raise the 200 in a rights issue. I mean, 200. I hope they do that. It's easy money, it's free money. Lots of people, including me, would be happy to give you that money in a rights issue.
And it wouldn't be much dilution right now.
And it wouldn't be much dilution, yeah.
If it's a right, so one rights issue, no dilution. For real, and if you choose it, but it wouldn't be that much more shares out there on that. So, yeah, that goes really well at the price it is. Boy, imagine you raised 234 188, and at 10, or you could have raised it barely nothing. It doesn't do anything for you to do it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's true.
The market, you know, so it's almost unfair, but it's unfair.
The more you have, the more unfair it is. One of the signs that I saw that made me think that they could raise is that sale that they did to that lawyer.
Yeah.
I was thinking, could it not be the family knowing that they're going to do a raise and they have to defend their position later on? So you sell some of your position to get cash now so that you can buy the percentage of the raise that you need.
And in those volumes, it's not like me and you get up and say, oh, cool, I can go to cash almost in about the money reach already. So you know that go.
Yeah.
But it's funny. We'll see what we called it, right? We said very early, we said, Jano, this why I'm telling us about this early. And
yes.
Yeah. Very quickly it was told like a raise still. So fingers crossed, but expected. It'll be very nice.
Very nice.
And them guys have been waiting on Fontana is a nice better price to buy in. Plus, very likely the price push forward. So more again, bake over and over and over. I don't think anybody will upset with that.
I don't think they actually bought in. I hope they did. But if they sold this,
I know they did. They probably my thought is that most people held because that's what people do when the stock goes down. It's Jano, it down. Always up, profit, celebrate. Right? Yeah. But if a rights issue come up, then it's an opportunity for at least them to get the nice discount plus the likely movement from the rights issue. So that's the idea. So maybe them get some more money on that. But truly, if you sat down in Fontana from 2019, you truly should have been buying. Because if you're believing to sit down and wait on that loss, then you should have believed and buy the loss. So by the dip, you have a nice average price when the money start move. You have a lot more money in it. Yeah. You put 100 grand in 2019. Every month you throw 50 grand. You throw 10 grand. Between then and now.
Yeah,
when everything move up one time. Nice.
Yep. I doing some back of the envelope math here. They sold it for close to 100 million, 90 odd million. Using the $7.50 on the date that they say it crossed, although I don't see volume evidence of it, but using that price, I have them raising 95 million and then I'm considering, just hypothetically, 95 million. They raised debt of 500 million the other day. That's roughly 20%, 19 point little bit percent.
Yeah.
Of 500 million.
And you know, if they do a rights issue and get a nice, it can hold them over. The stock price itself, it can hold over into the time when the new location isn't profitable. Give me something before that.
What I'm wondering is, what I'm doing is using the amount that they would have sold for as cash to consider that amount.
What exactly?
Covering a buy. Yeah, covering a buy.
What percentage of them?
Yeah, I think what is the family?
Probably have
90%?
extra money. They probably will bring some of them outside money to the table, if not.
Yeah, probably, but you also probably want some cash.
Put a big amount of risk to put selling some of shares and going back for buy the same shares with the money. You give your company money with shares you sold from the company to give yourself more shares. That's very nice. Yeah. So 90% of the company, 80, around 80?
Around something like that. 989, 172, 831.
Boy, is that printed or is that thing there typed or scanned?
Type.
Oh, so you can't access it in there. Where do the thing go? Print and then scan it back.
Yeah, the government way.
I didn't search it. Brother, if I had government documents are scanned and print it, then scan it, and then them optimize it afterwards, make each thing they searchable. So somebody goes in and say, write the script in so they can search it word for word. Instead of just say, yo, just use a printed document. The document and write and type.
Tell me the fact. Yo, here's something I don't understand.
Madness.
I wonder if I want to say it publicly, and if you have to ask yourself, like, you should probably not say it publicly.
Oh yeah, because I have some stories, boy. Yeah.
All right, back at the envelope, them own about 80%. So now do some crazy math with that, and this is the last crazy math we'll do for the night. Doing some crazy math with the amount that they. So I'm estimating that they got. With that being 79%, they could raise
79%. How much they sold?
They sold 12,682,033 units. And I'm assuming that they sold it for $7.50.
$7.50, and that's what, 80% of the money?
And I'm assuming that 79% of the company is what they own.
They sold 1 million units?
No, 12 million.
12, okay. 12 million, how much?
Yeah. 12 million, 682,033.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, makes sense. Yeah, and then
assuming that they sold it at 750.
118 mil raise. If they're defending there, if that money only goes to defending their stake, 118 mil.
And we know that they only have I worked out at 120 mil.
What the dividend will look like?
Well, I don't even consider dividend yet, but I'm thinking that they only have 220 something million worth of space. 79% of, if you're raising at 79, if you use the amount that they got from that sale as 79% of a total figure, that total figure would be 120 million.
Yeah.
Well, 120 million, yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Which is kind of close, right?
That's a 100 mil off. 100 and something mil off.
Well, that would
because they have 200 and something left to raise, 266 left to raise.
Yes.
Yeah. So I asked about dividend, because if they factor in the dividend there, then they could have said, all right, cool, make some nice money from the dividend as well, and then put that on it. Put that money back into buying the stock.
Or not, or maybe they've raised enough. Maybe 120 is a nice.
They might have raised enough, definitely.
79%, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be a nice.
But again, people, that's wild speculation, and that's tired mind saying it. It's just a wonderful, a funny idea that.
But you know, so even then, if at the level of the race too, they could dilute themselves in that race, and it wouldn't really matter.
If they don't care about the dilution, correct?
Because think of if you're raising 200 at this price, and dilute 200 million on top of the value they have now. They could take the dilution and still have 70-something% though. If they do it right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't actually matter at the end of the day to them.
If they're going to take dilution, they're not going to have 70-something. They're going to be well, they don't have 79 anymore because they sold a piece.
How much they have now?
I don't know if I have to work that out, and I don't want to go through that now.
Oh yeah, same. So maybe I'll do tomorrow if I remember.
Yeah, but that's a good bit of consideration there. I think they're definitely going to raise. I hope they don't do an APO.
Same.
I really hope they don't do an APO. Anyway, thank you guys for your questions, your comments. I don't know if there's anybody who has sent a request that we haven't answered. I don't think so. I think we've gotten through to everybody. I hope tonight was not too deadish for you. And I hope I think it's deadish, but I actually don't mind the lack of any trolling, right? Yeah, look out for another one next week when we talk about something else. We'll find a nice topic. Or we'll find
we'll be deeper in earnings season then. So earnings season will always give you good earnings season topics, but it always give you great topics that don't necessarily sound like the boring regular earnings season. So that's fine.
That's true. And I still waiting on fiberglass. Jamaica fiberglass IPO. That's the market primed right now. They love a good company to list.
People are very much waiting. After spreadsheet, not with the market. People are really waiting. Yeah.
Trust me.
I really like the market open the year with spreadsheet. I really like that.
Yeah, that was a great way for the market to open. That was a great way for the year to open, and I think it bodes well for the rest of the year. I mean, people start the year up. Right now, they'll be up 301, right?
Nice.
Up 201, really, but your money would have tripled plus 1%. That's not a bad way to start the year at all. And spreadsheet itself, I think, have a whole wait till them start. I feel they're going to start handling. I don't want to say white labeling. Yeah, I think there's a whole heap to happen there. Yeah.
And the man them done in the US market, and you know the buzz around that already. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So, look out for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the brick talk this week. You can hear the tiredness. Oh God. Then I just thought we'll have one last person. Two last people. Mr. Stewart. How are you doing, Mr. Stewart?
Mr.
I
Stewart,
guess we can't hear from him. Okay, in the meantime, Ainsworth, how are you doing?
Man, good night. Quick question.
Big up Ainsworth, what's up?
Good night. The budget presentation presented recently, was anything said there that would influence the market in one way or another? I didn't get a chance to listen to it, so I was asking if
I'll be honest with you, my G. Just like everybody else, like 90% of people find the budget boring. I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
That's not the real budget. The budget reading don't really happen yet, has it?
No,
what happened? Tabling of
the planned expenses. The real one comes further down.
I have no clue. You'd have to check and tell us.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't.
At some point, I will have to look at it. I just have not really. One time and two.
Yeah.
That's Randy say.
It is pretty boring. I'm sorry. It can be pretty boring, but I don't know. Maybe cigarette tax going up. That's all.
Already.
Say that again.
Probably nothing stood out based on what was said because it would have been mentioned already.
Probably not.
Again, see. That's a very common thing where people say things that don't really actually matter. A lot of the things that get buzzy don't really affect the things that people say they affect. So yeah. But other things that are actually of great importance go right under the bridge.
Yeah. Another quick question. With the devaluation.
Well, on your budget point though, I'll tell you something that could stand out. There's something that I will look for. I look to see if them have any large amount of money coming in or expected to come in from unclear sources to see if it match what I think a JPS IPO would look like. Because that's what I think might be a big deal coming very next out of the government. But I could be wrong, but that's something that I would look for. Because I suspect it's gonna happen soon.
Okay. Point taken.
Yeah. But I don't really allow it to do nothing, right? You can't make no money off that anyway. There's no benefit there. Yeah,
until it actually happens. So.
Yeah, it's just a nice sounding point. But you had another question.
Yeah, when the dollar devalues, what are some of the companies that it may affect, whether negatively or positively?
All right, I'll give you a very general one because to go through every single. Anybody that make money in USD, positive. Any money that
our own
USD, then positive. If they have to spend a lot of USD and the dollar is devaluing, and people they make money in JMD, but if I spend USD, because I want to buy something from abroad or whatever, then that will affect them. The expenses gone up.
So on either side, which one you think would benefit? And which
benefit?
Loads of them. Here's what you can do. Here's what you do. Hold on. Here's what you can do. Since you're looking some easy research instead of easy answers, come and do grow. All right, you'll learn how to look at these things. But I'll tell you an easy tip. Every single company every year outlines their known risk, including their foreign exchange risk, and they give an outline of what the movement in the dollar will impact, how it will impact the company, or is expected to impact the company throughout the year. So they'll tell you that if the dollar goes up 10%, they stand to lose this much. It goes down X%, they stand to make this much. Check that out, and that should be something that can help you, I think.
All right, understand. Thank you. That's it.
You're very welcome, insert. All right, thank you. And I guess the other gentleman decided against it tonight. I'm thankful. All right, then I thank you for joining for another week. And thank you guys for listening for another week. I hope you found it interesting. I know we went a little late, but I see 210 people are there still listening. For those 210 people and the people on YouTube watching, you're looking on screen now. You see the My Money J8 discount code. Check that out. My Money J is a wonderful website. It allows you to do a whole lot, including keep track of your finances, get alerts when they're. I can't go into all of it. It's an amazing website. Most importantly, it allows you to keep track of your portfolio. Yeah, so pay attention to that and grab the discount code while you have it. The discount code also works for Grow. Same exact code if you're doing for one person. If you do it for two people, it's 2 Valentine's bricks and you get double the discount. So you get 10% off. If you just did Valentine's bricks, you get 5% off. All right. Thank you very much again for listening. I've thanked you guys about 10 times now. Thank you, Danai, for doing this. And everybody have a really good night, evening, and weekend. And remember, my enemies are after me. Yo, have you watched that thing on? Yo, brother, have you watched that yet?
What?
What's that? The Tinder scammer guy.
Oh, I haven't. I've been hearing about it though. But I know what you're talking about. I know the context, but yes, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Oh, you need to do something else and have it on and watch it, brother. It is a level of chop.
Oh my God. People really, guys. If a billionaire is asking you for money, then wonder if he's a billionaire. All right. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm holding my comment. Unless it's a rights issue. Unless it's a rights issue or an APO, then the billionaire probably has a lot of money and you get a chance to make more. Right? But yeah. If it's a billionaire that's asking for money like that to make me hold a 30 grand for a little while, their banks will be more than happy to lend them. If the bank not lending them, don't be the bank.